we've completed that mission, and this is where it gets good. We now have agriculture. So agriculture is a huge upgrade, so I want you to pay close attention. I'm going to get that researched, and then I'm going to tell you what you need to look out for to get your agriculture going, how it all works. And I'm going to cover all of that in this episode. Once that is done, we'll move on to something else. So let's get them researched. Stacking stones is to do with stone building. So it lets us build bigger houses and other stone structures. Not enough food from gathering. This is it. This is agriculture itself. And it requires 20 pots. We have been producing a surplus of pots, which is good. So you're going to need to make sure you've got some pots. One really critical thing that I didn't mention is even if you're not producing anything, even if you're not producing a surplus of goods because all of it goes to demand, let's say pots, let's say you only produce 2 pots, but you've got 2.4, so it's all going to fulfill demand. But you need 20 pots to get the agriculture. Go down here to maintain stock, type in however much you want to maintain, and what it will do is it will take a quarter of your production, not send it to supply, and it will actually keep it as a stock. So this is a great way to build up a stock when you need something. So we actually can build some more houses because we've got some more slums. There we go, you see the slums here. We're going to get agriculture done. So stacking stones, put 5 miners in. It's only 85% chance though, but that's still pretty good. Agriculture, 6 farmers. 75%, it's going to take 2.5 minutes. So, while that's going on, and we've got our... Oh, we're not producing anywhere near enough flint. My goodness. Are all our flint miners... Yeah, all our flint miners are going, so... Oh, that's because they're doing the research, my bad. But we still do need some more, so I'm going to build just 1 more. Actually, no, I'm going to build 2 more. And I'm actually going to build some more tool makers. And the reason is because we need to make a new thing now. At the moment, we can only make hammers out of flint. Hammers are used in basic building production. But soon we'll need hoes. Hoes are farming tool. And as far as I'm aware, they're the only farming tool to make new fields for the rest of the game. So they remain always important, and you always really should be using flint to make them, so they're really cheap to make. So I'm going to leave these here on low. We actually got a new tech, knowing the plants. So knowing the plants is a tech that unlocks doctors. You don't need to get it anytime soon, and it's really hard to get, but it doesn't cost any resources. So just, if you can, keep putting the 5 farmers in, but you got to remember that the 5 farmers will stop working, so you got to have a think about that one. So like I was saying, agriculture unlocks hoes. How farms work is they use the gathering camps you've already placed down, or if you want to place down new ones, you can, and they actually create their own food sources. So whereas these gathering camps simply gather food sources that are already on the map, farms use up an initial investment of food, but then they create a long-term food source. So they cost 1 of the certain foods. So let's say you're making banana farms. You'd place 1 banana plus 1 hoe, and it would generate, let's say, 0.05 or 0.1 banana per tick. So you build up large amounts of fields, and over time these generate you a lot of food. So where the usage is, this is how many fields you can build. So you can see actually that this farm is already at 100%. The workers, as you can see here, are working, so it wouldn't be usually. But if it's at 100%, adding any more fields won't do anything. So what you want to do is you want to find the fields, gathering camps, like this one. Usage is only at 59%. This is where it is all is. This is a new thing you'll be introducing, annexes. Annexes are basically an addition to a building. So certain buildings can have annexes, and farms and pastures are the main ones. So you want to find the building, the gathering camp that's got the low usage, go to field, and you go, oh, Harry, I can't build anything. What's going on? And this is the problem that I ran into when I first started. You need to actually spend civ points to unlock the food. So here we've got civ points in consuming bananas and consuming beans. That's because the game kindly gave them to us when we started, because we had them in our territory. But to actually produce the food, you need to come over to skills, and you'll find all these new things, unlock, and all the different food types. Obviously, don't unlock ones you don't have in your territory, because you won't be able to produce them. But we produce beans and bananas. So I'm going to start with bananas. So unlock bananas, and I'm going to spend 1 civ point to allow production. And I'm going to actually put 3 in. I'm going to say bananas will be our main source. I'm going to put 3 civ points in, just so we can produce more and get more out of them. So adopt this trait. Now we can produce bananas. So we come over. Bananas. Brilliant. And you see it requires 1 hoe and 1 banana. So this is where we run into the problem again, where all our bananas are actually being used up. So I'm going to set a stock of 25 bananas, hit enter. Now you'll see we're producing 3.3, and this has gone down from 3.3 to 2.5, and our bananas are increasing, our banana stock's increasing. I'm also going to set all of these hammer makers. We've got quite a lot of hammers. I'm going to set all of them to hoe makers. In fact, I'm going to take this one off, and I'm going to put it into flint making, because these guys aren't getting enough material. You can see here they're only getting 44% of the flint they need, so they're really not making anything. But we're going to make hoes. So we're now making 1.7 hoes per term, and we're ready to start farming. So we've got these gathering camps. 53% bananas. And I'm actually going to speed it up a little bit, just so I can get those bananas in quicker. And I'm going to start placing. So while that's going on, if you come to the eye in the top right, go to fertility, you now see the ground fertility. The lighter the green, the higher the fertility. So this brown, you don't want to build there, as it's 1 fertility. And if you find the red, like the orangey red, you certainly don't want to build there. This darker green is fertility 2, and this lighter green is fertility 3. However, in some territories, you'll find that it actually reverses, where the lighter green, this one is only 2, this is 1, and that's 0, because the fertility is so bad. Or maybe it's the other way around, where the lightest green is 4 fertility, and this darker green is 3, because the fertility is so good. But usually you'll find the light green to be 3 fertility. That simply means that whenever you place a field there, you get a higher efficiency rate out of it. So if you placed a field, let's say on this one, 2, you might get 0.1 apples out of each field. Whereas if you place it on 3, you'd get 0.15 apples. So it doesn't use up any more space in the farms, it just means you get more food out of the field. We've got some new ones here, new techs. Let's try and get this one. We failed in knowing the plants, but that's what was expected, as it's quite a difficult one to get. And we've actually built up some bananas. So, field, bananas, and let's start planting. I'm going to have to chop down some trees for this, but this isn't too much of a problem. Let's start getting our fields in place. And I'm building on this nice light green, and I like to build it in orderly fashions. So I've accidentally misplaced it here, so I'm going to left click on the field and click move, and then put that in place. So all lines up. You can see that's going up to 68% now, and actually our fields are producing 1.1 bananas, way more than the 0.2 this farm usually picks up. But remember, we have put the civ points into it. Here we go. Some more fields. There we go. So if we look on the map now, we see the nice banana plants, banana trees appearing on the map there. And we're at 83% and producing more bananas. So actually now, even though we're maintaining stock of 25, we're producing so many bananas that we're actually covering our demand anyway. So we're just going to bring in new bananas. You can do this for beans as well, or obviously whatever other food source you have. But I'd say it's best to invest some civ points into focusing on just one for now. Fully max that out. You'll then reach a point where your population can't get any bigger, even if you invest more food source. And actually what I'd say, while you're in this era, this sort of stage, very early in the game, just focus on 2 foods. That'll be meat and 1 vegetable food. So I'm focusing on the meat and the bananas, If you grow your population too much, you will face revolts. As you can see here, if you come to the territory menu, the conflict is rising. And it's rising as the population gets larger. And it's rising quickly, actually. Conflict directly affects loyalty. If it comes to loyalty or authority, the more conflict, see, minus 35 is identical to the 35 conflict. So the more conflict you have, the less loyalty. The less loyalty, the more likely it is you'll revolt. If you go below 30 loyalty, you're at risk of revolt. So even though we do want to grow more food, to get more pops, to fulfill more jobs, blah, 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 don't want to expand too quickly. Otherwise, you can see yourself getting too much conflict and then actually losing the game to a revolt. This has happened to me many times when I just assumed always fulfill food, get more food. Because I treated it like any other normal sort of basic city builder game where it's just about constantly growing. Don't think like that for Ymir. Anyway guys, this has been a more longer episode simply because I want to talk a bit about agriculture. I'm going to end the video there. In the next episode, I'm going to get more agriculture set up, get more text done, and just progress further into the game. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.